Good evening, YouTube. What the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I am back from vacation. Sorry there was like almost 2 days of no content there. I think it was almost 2 days. I recorded as many as I could before I left. I think I did pretty good. I was gone for 6 days, and I think I had 5 of them covered with videos, so not bad. When I got back, I was just so exhausted I couldn't record yesterday night. It was a long day of travel. And here I am, back with some community 2v2, so I kind of came up with an idea tonight that I hope we can continue. I've already kind of been doing it, but I'm going to set up a community game night on my Discord. All of you are welcome to join the Discord. It is free, doesn't require anything. The link's in the description. All you got to have is the Discord app, I think, or maybe you can even run it in the browser, I don't know. So just join Discord, click on the link in the description so you can be in my Discord. And I'm going to start hosting a once-a-week community game night where we pick a theme and we'll play it. Doesn't necessarily have to be in Warhammer. Probably a lot of it will be, because that's where a lot of us like playing the multiplayer. But we will have a community-themed game night. So yeah, make sure you join and then jump in. So this week, it was kind of unannounced, but we were doing the community game night, and it was 2v2s with a random faction picker. So my teammate tonight is the Dwarves, and I'm playing as Clan Pestilence. This was chosen. The other rule is that if you get one of the minor factions, obviously you can use their legendary lord or a regular one, but when you're one of the main factions like the Dwarves, it limits you to the faction, or to the leader that represents that faction on the campaign map. So I've got Thorgrim, and then I am playing as Lord Skrulk. My army is mostly cheap infantry. I do have the Regiment of Renowned Stormvermin. I've got the Rod of Corruption and the Liber Bubonicus. I've got 3 Rat Ogres, a couple of Jezzails, just some Skaven Slaves and stuff with shields. The Dawi player supporting me here has a few Longbeards, 1 Hammer, and some Slayers in the back, along with a Runesmith to support Thorgrim, but the meat of the Dwarf army is actually up in the air. It's an Air Force, and holy crap, these gyrocopters got jacked up by this Cygor. I was pretty impressed at how accurate the Cygor is against these aerial units. So there are several units of gyrocopters harassing our enemies. You can see there's a couple more out here. I think Brimstone Gun, Brimstone, Standard Gyro, and this one's a Standard Gyro. Now, out on either one of my flanks, I also have a Doom Flayer, and those Doom Flayers are moving in. I'm going to put some shots on this Cygor. I do believe he's a summon, so I don't know how much longer it's going to last. I could be wrong, though, about it being a summon. I can't remember. Over here on this flank, though, a couple of Doomfire Warlocks come out. The factions we're up against are the Beastmen and Harganeth. Harganeth has these 2 Doomfire Warlocks. They're supported by a couple of Centigors. And they're going to use their Lesser Doombolt here on my Flayers who have discovered them. Also on this flank, they've got a few Gore Herds with shields. The main line for the Dark Elves is mostly cheap infantry, though there's a couple of good ones here. We got a Blackheart Corsair and the Blades of the Blood Queen, the Harganeth Executioner. There's a War Hydra to support. Then we have Gorbull and Malagor. Obviously, Malagor's been doing some Cygor summons, trying to get some range. And then as for the leader, for the Harganeth, they have a Dreadlord and a Fire Sorceress who has Flaming Head, Flamestorm. Is it Burning? I think it's Burning Head, Flamestorm, and Piercing Bolts of Burning. So right now, Harganeth is working on trying to outflank us a little bit with the Doomfire Warlocks. I've kind of just set up a defense, and the Dwarves kind of help me with my flank here. And then otherwise, I'm trying to do as much damage as I can from long range with my Jezzails, though I did take them off fire at will just a moment ago. Now over here, there is some Razorgore Chariots and Ungor Herd that are wanting to keep my Doom Flayers at bay, because I do want a piece of those archers. I just don't want to get too overextended with my Doom Flayers. See at this point the Doomfire Warlocks moving in behind me. They're getting a little bit isolated here, though, so I am going to go ahead and try and pounce. I'm moving some Rat Ogres into position, and there are Slayers and other units around that could potentially help me. The Dreadlord has now become the focus of my Jezzails, and if the Dreadlord doesn't get to safety, he will pretty quickly fall to the long-range Warp-Lock snipers. They are deadly effective against these types of targets. I do go ahead and plunge the Doom Flayers into battle over here, and they start causing a lot of damage, and with the support of the Gyrocopters, I'm hoping to help them cause a ton of damage, though I am in a very real danger of routing here. So, very overextended at the moment, but the Gyrocopters you can see come in, get really good shots. The Razorgore Chariots get knocked out of the fight. This is good for us. The Dreadlord continues to take fire and hasn't moved out of the line of fire, so I'm going to take advantage of that. A bit of a mistake by the Harganeth player. Dark Elves, same thing here in this case. My Rat Ogres combine well with the Doom Flayers. They dish a ton of damage. They also cause terror. And then over here, I'm able to get in and do some damage on the Doomfire Warlocks while the Gyrocopters help keep the other unit at bay. The bolt did not do much against Thorgrim. He has magic resistance, and I doubt it would. Very nice spell there from Malagor, doing some serious damage to the Council Guard. That was a Vile Tide, and I apologize for my voice. I've had some allergies that have kind of eaten away at my throat a little. Warp lock allergies, if you will. So my voice will be a little bit grizzled on the end of this replay, but it's always a bit grizzled. That's just the Heir of Carthage. Now on this flank, my infantry is pretty outmatched, so I'm kind of sending stuff in waves, and I'm going to start using the summons off of Skrulk. I did a bunch of damage with the Liber Bubonicus to the Warhydra, and it helped, but that thing is still healing like crazy, and despite the presence of the Council Guard, it is causing me a great deal of trouble. My next target was the Sorceress of Fire. Probably should have been the Warhydra, and I'm kind of surprised the Warhydra didn't pull through due to my miss-micro and trying to get the Rat Ogres in here to hold it still. Definitely a mistake on my part to not have the Rat Ogres in that fight, but the Council Guard, fortunately, is unbreakable and will make my center fairly powerful, at least if for the moment. The Beastmen still have a lot of troops that they have not moved in a timely fashion, so I'm trying to take advantage of this and really gang up hard on Harganeth. I swung in my Doom Flayers to combine with some Skaven Slaves. Should be able to get rid of the Bleak Swords, but another Razor Gore Chariot is headed our direction. And over here, some Dread Spears are breaking through. I don't want my Rat Ogres to get tangled up with them, and I also need to get my Warplock Jezzails back from the fight. Meanwhile, Skrulk is in some pretty big trouble, getting attacked by the Hydra and a Gorbo. But at the same time, he's very useful to me in this fight. He's caused tremendous amounts of damage. Burning Head here is going to really hurt those summoned Plague Months, but it moves off relatively fast, fortunately for me. And my Dwarf teammate is now committing their reinforcements to the fight, as well as the damage that's being done by the Gyrocopters. It is starting to mount. The Beastmen started to move forward their reserve forces and have opened fire with their bowmen. And there is a pretty good blob of infantry over here, but I'm going to push some Clan Rat Spears that direction to try and shut down those bows. Meanwhile, I move back my Jezzails, and I'll look for targets of opportunity with them as it works. Skrulk is now summoning like crazy, and I've moved in my Rat Ogres over here against the Blades of the Blood Queen. I think that's what it is. Yeah, Blades of the Blood Queen. And I've also got my Doom Flayers over there. The Blades of the Blood Queen are a perfect target for my Doom Flayers. Fortunately, the Warhydra's routing, though it is healing, so it'll probably be back in the fight here pretty quickly. This Council Guard has been absolutely clutch in the center, helping to hold up against some very overwhelming foes. And Skrulk is kind of doing what Skrulk does best here, which is just last a long time in a fight and cause a whole lot of damage to enemy blobs. So it's a pretty desperate fight, though it is starting to swing in the favor of the unholy Dwarfo-Skaven alliance here. Wow, my voice is really about to give out, so I apologize, folks. Allergies will do that. And you can see the Doom Flayers here. They'll be causing terror and fear, as well as massive armor-piercing damage. So my Rat Ogres combined to tear out the infantry over there. And now all we have left is kind of this blob of archers over here. I'm going to swing my flayers over in that direction. Malagor is potentially about to get rid of Skrulk, so I have to get some more summons out here. Got a pretty desperate fight in this vicinity, though fortunately for me, there's still a lot of Dawi over here, and they're combining with some of my regrouped Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves. Meanwhile, my Doom Flayers are able to push through the Spearmen and get to this juicy, nougaty center of Beastmen Hunters. These Ungor Raiders will be taken down by the Doom Flayers. A pretty easy target for them, and the terror will be pretty big The gyrocopters still have quite a bit of ammo. They have come over here to open fire on this chariot, which is a good target for them. My Jezzails have a little bit of ammo too, so I'm going to also target that chariot, which is coming straight in after my Jezzails, but with the amount of fire it's under, they shouldn't last too long, I don't think. And it's pretty late in the game. The Jezzails have managed to do tremendous damage thus far. It's been very useful for me. One of them is out of ammunition. The gyrocopters there moving in for the kill, and they do push the chariot out of the game, and the remainder of our enemies rout, giving us a Pyrrhic victory here. Do apologize for my voice. It's kind of in and out right now. Mostly out. But thanks to Regina for playing on my team, and Ikit and Kinegos on the other side. Really appreciate everybody who jumped in. We had a huge response. We had like 12 or 14 people jump in on almost no notice in the Discord, and I really appreciate all of them. And guess what? There were 2 more battles that they got set up, and I have both of those replays as well. So over the next couple of days, we'll get to cover the other 2v2 replays. We had some fun ones. Again, this was all random faction picker, so we just had to take whatever faction it gave us. So tonight's theme was a random faction picker 2v2. Hey, thanks for all the help with subscribers. We're getting very close to 250,000. If you want to help, go ahead and click that subscribe button now and click the bell. You'll be notified. I am going to be giving away a Steam gift card from time to time in my videos, and I think this one had one on the beginning of it. So if you're on the notification squad, you may have been one of the lucky winners. Anyway, so keep an eye out for that. Click the like button if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time with some more community Total War multiplayer. HeirofCarthage signing out.